My name is William Joseph Cobble. I'm the author of the ongoing Contending with Paul book series. Today I'm reading an excerpt from book one in that series, Contending with Paul, the hidden story behind the writing of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. The excerpt comes from chapter 1. James describes the intended outcome of his strategy to alter Paul's public image through the rite of purification. Quote, Thus all will know that there is nothing in what they have been told about you, but that you yourself observe and guard the law. Chapter 21, verse 25. The next day, Paul followed James's directive, but the plan would go terribly wrong. When the 7-day period was almost complete, a group of Jews publicly charged Paul with bringing non-Jews into a restricted area of the temple grounds and having, quote, defiled this holy place. Verse 28. The substance of their other charges will sound familiar. Quote, fellow Israelites, help. This is the man who is teaching everyone everywhere against our people, our law, and this place. Then all the city was aroused, and the people rushed together. They seized Paul and dragged him out of the temple. Verses 28 and 30. This incident led to the Roman soldiers intervening as the crowd, quote, was trying to kill him, verse 31, and to Paul's arrest. He would later be removed to Rome after appealing his case to the emperor, and church tradition holds that he would ultimately be executed there. Interpretations of this event are broad and range from a good plan by James gone wrong to a setup by James to remove Paul one way or another. How the events were felt by the Jerusalem believers and their leadership is not overtly disclosed, but there may be a hint. Before Paul is taken out of Jerusalem, he is forced by the Roman tribune to appear before the chief priest and the Sanhedrin. Quote, since he wanted to find out what Paul was being accused of by the Jews, the next day he released him and ordered the chief priest and the entire council to meet. He brought Paul down and had him stand before them. Chapter 22, verse 30. This would have been the ideal time for the apostles and the elders of the Jerusalem Mother Church to intervene on the side of Paul as he stood before the Jewish religious leaders, yet there is no record of them advocating for him or even being in attendance. Acts is silent on the Jerusalem leaders ever attempting to come to Paul's aid after his arrest. But it is not clear how much power they had to wield, even if they had tried. One can guess how the entire incident would have appeared to Paul's Gentile churches and allies. Once word spread that Paul had nearly been killed in Jerusalem and was now imprisoned after following James's specific instructions, relations between the apostolic and Pauline churches may have been damaged irreparably. But the rift between the two lineages of the new faith may have deepened further still if the Gentile churches held any suspicion that their collection for the poor of Jerusalem had been refused. Contending with Paul.